Good evening and welcome to Live with Shawna at Shaw Roco Solutions. I'm a real estate entrepreneur and I focus on helping Albertans become homeowners in the Calgary area, as well as I work with a team of other investors, and we work together basically to create win-win investment opportunities for people who want to invest in real estate. And on top of that, we also work with a team of mortgage professionals. So we have our mortgage brokers, credit repair specialists, realtors, property managers, building inspectors, and so on and so forth. So that's a little bit of who I am. And tonight, hi Kat, how are you? And tonight, hi Eric, nice to see you. So tonight, I'm going to be talking about credit. So credit's one of those things that recently we've been sitting down and talking with tenant buyers, and when you get into the credit conversation, it's always a tough one for them because they're just getting to know you. They've maybe had one or two meetings with you, and they're kind of like they're not quite sure whether or not they want to just tell you everything about the credit situation. So I always try to make people feel comfortable that we do work with these team of professionals, and you can give us the information. It's all confidential. You deal with our credit with our mortgage brokers, but we really do need to make sure that it's a win-win situation for you getting into your rent to own. So we do need to understand where you're at with your credit at that time. So what some people don't know is you can actually go onto Equifax and you can pull your own credit score. I think it's like $23 to $25, and a lot of times they suggest you do it like once a year just to see where you're at with your credit score. And then, for most people out there, if you're not an investor and you're not used to pulling your credit score, you might get this number back and say, okay, so I have this credit score. What does this mean? So the maximum credit score is 900, and then no credit is basically zero. So if we start from zero, or like 900 will go down. So good to excellent credit would be around 680 plus. And then your average credit would be like 620 to 679. Your below average is 580 to 619. And then you get into your poor credit, which is below 580. And that's where some people have, you've been through your bankruptcy or foreclosure or whatever the situation is. And that's kind of an area where you're going to need to repair your credit. So some of the factors that are involved with your credit score and how they come up with that is your payment history. So for instance, if you have had a bankruptcy, you've made several late payments, you have past due accounts, people have gone to collections, or you've had judgments on you. So that's one of them. Another one is like your amounts owed. So for instance, how much you owe on your accounts in proportion to the balance of your total credit limit. Another one is your length of credit history. So the time since your account was open to, and all the time since your account's activity. So how much activity you put on, when you've put it on. Another one is new credit. So your number of recent inquiries. So basically how many new accounts have been opened. They take a look at that. So if you've applied for credit card after credit card after credit card, that's going to affect your credit score. Another one is your types of credit. So whether it's the various types of accounts, you have your credit cards, your retail cards, mortgages, your line of credit, your loans, whatever the situation may be. So your credit score will determine what lending options you have, whether or not, you can deal with A lenders or B lenders. So your A lenders are like your top 5 banks. Your B lenders, you got to go to like different levels of lending from there. So it's once you understand that, then it's easier to kind of figure out, okay, here's where we need to go. And with the banks, there's basically 5 C's that the banks and other lenders look at in order to evaluate your potential borrowing and how they make their lending decision. So one of the 5 C's is capacity. So capacity is the means in which, I'm just going to read this, the borrower will repay the debt. So the borrower has to earn enough income in order to pay that loan back. So that's one of the things they look at. Another thing they look at is your capital. So how much risk the borrower is willing to take in regarding to the subject matter of the loan. So how much do you have for down payment? What's your skin in the game? Another thing they look at is collateral. So the property, they use it itself to secure the loan. And typically the property will be of equal to or greater value. But when the lenders, if there comes a situation, like with foreclosures and stuff, the lenders will seize the collateral in order to repay the debt that you owe. So Sorry, I'm going to tickle my throat today. Another thing they look at is character. So when they talk about character, they're talking about your personal reputation. So your reputation of the borrower, and also this refers to your credit history. From there, the next thing they look at is the conditions. And with the conditions, it's the financial conditions that exist at the time that you're borrowing the money. So interest rates, principal amount, general overall market conditions is what they will look at. So that's kind of the 5 C's of the lending criteria of what the banks and lenders look at. So if you're looking at purchasing a home and you, like I said, you have a bruised credit or damaged credit, then our rent-own program, it might be something that works out for you. You get to pick out the home of your choice. You get to rent it from 2 to 4 years. With that, you do work with our credit repair specialist and our mortgage broker to get you where you need to be in order to at the end of that term to buy that house. And it's really important that, especially when you're repairing your credit, so like with our mortgage brokers and our credit repair specialists that we work with, they do like quarterly follow-ups. So they literally work with you through the whole process on getting your credit to where you need to be to make sure you qualify for that home at the end of the term. So that's it for tonight, a little kind of lesson on credit. And thank you for joining me. And if you're watching the replay, if you have any comments, please type them in. I'll get back to you. For more information, you go to my website, www.shawrocosolutions.com. Or if you want to see any of my other videos where I've talked about all different things, you can go to my YouTube channel and type in Shaw Roco. And I will be back live next Wednesday. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Have a good week.